Y'all probably knew this video was about to happen. What's up, you guys? Chet Guthrie, the Dream Poet here, coming to you all with day 202 of my vlogging experience here in the state of Florida. And as you can all tell, I just woke up last night. I don't know. I think I just need to get my schedule down pat again. I'm not going to lie. Because these listicles are fun, but they kind of get boring after a while. But for this vlog today, you guys, I will be going over my top 10 AC/DC songs ever. Now, you're probably wondering, well, you know what, Chet? They all run the same, they all sound the same, and more than likely Back in Black and all those other songs will be on it. Well, surprisingly, AC/DC has a lot of really good songs that, admittedly, they admit the same energy, but they are different. Yeah, go ahead and say I'm full of crap. I know you want to say it. But you guys, without further ado, let's get this list rolling. And my number 10 pick is Rockin' Rollin' Man, which came from the Dirty Deeds album. Now, Dirty Deeds, this album right here, this was one of the very first CDs from AC/DC that I ever listened to. I believe it came out in 1977 in America. I believe it was 1977. And one of the best songs that I think you all would recognize that came off that album was Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. However, Rockin' Rollin' Man has a really, really classic vibe to it that kind of just throws a lot of jazz and rock. I think rock. Anyway, it just throws a lot of classical, I wouldn't say classical works, but it's popping. That's what I'm going to say there. Now on to my number 9 pick is Rock and Roll Train, which came off the Black Ice album in 2009. Yes, this was after years of being an AC/DC fan and finally having them create an album after a super long time. And I liked Black Ice, but Rock and Roll Train, I remember the first time that I heard it on the radio, and I'm not gonna lie, I sat up in the wee hours of the morning waiting to hear that song again before they released Black Ice. And you all are probably going, well, Chet, why didn't you just listen to other songs when you were younger? Like, well, I kind of had a limited musical library, and AC/DC was really my first real band. And going back and seeing these things, I'm like, holy crap, there's a lot of other good songs out there, a lot of good music. But I want to shut up. That's not the point. My number 8 choice is For Those About to Rock, which came off the 1981 album under the same name. This album came after Back in Black, essentially. And For Those About to Rock, if I'm not mistaken, was a play on words that Angus Young had used, the lead guitarist, that for those about to die, we salute you, which it was a Roman saying. Apparently Angus Young was very big on Roman history. So, I mean, it's anyway. Now on to number 7. Number 7 was Hail Caesar from the Ballbreaker album, which came out in 1986. It was either 86 or 94. It was a part of the Brian Johnson era. Brian Johnson's still kicking today. He's got new ears though, so he's got new ears. But Hail Caesar came out in that time period, and surprisingly, it was produced by Rick Rubin, who is a very, very well-known music or rock director, I think. Anyway, he's produced a lot of really good songs, or with a lot of good bands, like Eminem and what was the other one? I'll cut that one out. Anyway, Slipknot. There we go. Slipknot. He's worked alongside Slipknot and Eminem and other bands like that. Rick Rubin is a genius. However, AC/DC did not like him, and Ballbreaker was produced under him. But Hail Caesar, I'm sorry, I love it. But Anyway, just a fun blurb of information. Now, on to number 6, which also came off the Ballbreaker album, Hard as a Rock. Now, this is the first song in the entire album, and it's got a really funny sexual innuendo, but just the riff that comes with it, oh my Jesus, it was so good. Anyway, and like near the end of the song, I mean, you just have like Angus Young just going like, harder than a rock. God dang, that's a good song. I mean, that one probably should have been number 1. No, nah. Alright, on to number 5. Now, this is the only song that came off the Back in Black album from my list, and that is Shoot to Thrill. Although, I do not like the 1980 Back in Black version of it. I like the 1992 version of it that was live, which was broadcast in Russia. I'll put the link to that one. It's such a good song. Such a good song. Such a better version. Like, especially that guitar solo in near in the middle or near the end. I think it's near the end of Shoot to Thrill. Oh my Jesus, it was so good. I mean, it's just like, it's longer lasting. It's just way more epic. And it's something you need to check out. Yes, AC/DC actually has music that actually sounds kind of different from one another. Now, on to number 4, High Voltage, which came off the very first album ever to be released in America under the same name, High Voltage. It was the first song that they ever released, and quite honestly, I think it was really the first thing that got AC/DC's popularity going in America. It was the powder keg, as I like to call it, that got lit. And High Voltage is just a staple of that. Just a fun fact that came off the High Voltage album. You had TNT, which was another well-known song that came off that one. But High Voltage, I'm surprised that it doesn't get enough radio time. But genius. Now, for number 3, we're getting into the number 3, last 3 spots territory. And that one, number 3, is Rock and Roll Damnation, I think, which was like the 1978, the 1978 album Power Age. I mean, just the artwork, look at the artwork on that. Look, I mean, that's just so epic. I mean, you've got like Angus Young, and like wires and crap is coming out of his arms. Like, that's pretty epic. I'm sorry, I just like the artwork in that. But Rock and Roll Damnation, I remember hearing about this one later when I was like 16, and I'd listened to AC/DC for a couple of years, and my family would say like, "Oh, AC/DC's the devil." Well, this one is sort of worse than Highway to Hell. It's really good. That's kind of weird saying that, but Rock and Roll Damnation, I just love the guitar riffs in it, and just just the chorus going that was Bon Scott. Rock and roll damnation, my zone whipping boy. Check it out. God dang, I think I'm going to say this a lot in this listicle. But anyway, now for number 3. Number 3 came off the 1979 Highway to Hell album, If You Want Blood, You've Got It. And again, I love the riff, and I loved, I just love Bon Scott. I love the Bon Scott era. I mean, the Bon Scott era is what made AC/DC so good. I mean, don't get me wrong, Brian Johnson was also really good, but I just like the Bon Scott era. I mean, man was genius. I wish that he hadn't died the way he did, but, I just like Bon Scott. Because I'm looking at my list, and I just feel like the last 4 on my top 10 have been nothing but Bon Scott. Now, on to my number 1 all-time favorite AC/DC song, and that is What's Next to the Moon. Came out the Power Age album in 1978. And I remember this one I didn't hear about till 2014 when I was just messing around, and a little thing called YouTube popped into my life, and I've listened to that song every day since then. I mean, I just like the storyline that comes with this song. I mean, it's more than just sex or drugs or however you want to put it. I mean, it tells this. I mean, Bon Scott's telling the story of how he is murdering his girlfriend because he's not getting enough sexual satisfaction. And by the time that he does get caught by the cops, he just tell him, he didn't mean to hurt her. She just had a heart attack and died on the tracks. So, I don't know. I like that. In the comments below, let me know what you thought should have been on my list. Like I said, I mean, I've been listening to AC/DC forever. I mean, this band was my very first band, and I feel like I got started on a good one. Like a really good one. Now that I think back about it, 15-year-old me chose a really, really good band to go off of. And did you all know that Stephen King listens to AC/DC when he writes? Yeah, fun thought. That's how we got Maximum Overdrive, and well, we all know that's a crappy. That's not a good that's not a good novel. Stephen King, if you're seeing this by any chance, sorry, please forgive me. But anyway, you guys, let me know what you should have thought. I feel like I'm surprising you all because it's like I don't choose the conventional, well-known AC/DC songs. I mean, I'm pretty well versed in this band.